Hey, this is Class Creatives, and in this video we'll discuss how cutting-edge production techniques mixed with practical effects are used by Marvel Studios' blockbuster hits that have broken box office records to reach the coveted billion-dollar status. Many of our students are curious about the software and techniques that are used to bring these record-breaking movies to life throughout each installment. In this video, we'll discuss how these award-winning effects are made by the best studios in the world, paired with state-of-the-art tools such as machine learning, integrating 3D assets with practical costumes to enhance the superhero characters, how live-action reference footage is used to inspire original acting choices, and how all of the elements are assembled together to create some of the most viral moments in cinema history. For the opening title sequence in Deadpool and Wolverine, the idea came about from a conversation between director Sean Levy and Ryan Reynolds. They asked fight choreographer and Deadpool stunt double Alex Kiskovich to come up with some ideas for how the sequence might play out. A few weeks later, Kiskovich sent them a previs version of the scene. The previs was then used as a basis for the final sequence seen in the opening credits. We can see some additional ideas in the previs that didn't make the final cut in the film. These sequences were replaced with the dance sequences that were added to the final opening title sequence. Dancer Nick Pauley, who was Ryan Reynolds' dance double, came up with the idea to have Deadpool dance to the song Bye 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 from NSYNC, and he also performs the dance sequence in the final version. Nick stated that the creation process for the sequence was fast-paced and intense. He only had 30 minutes to learn and perfect the dance routine after several calls from his agent. Despite the initial challenges such as the superhero costume suit being extremely hot and difficult to breathe in, he managed to capture Deadpool's energy and nailed the choreography. Ryan Reynolds did not dance or fight in any of the open sequences. The success of the viral sequence was facilitated by the director, fight choreographer, and dancer combining their talents, resulting in an unforgettable moment in the movie.
I've prepared a supercut of all of your grunting from the film.
Oh, God.
Adding vocal takes to the CG and stunt doubles can be quite entertaining to watch, as the skills of Hugh Jackman has to convey emotion to match the visuals seen in the movie with appropriate timing and his own personal touches.
Fuck you! Ah!
Quick pause to tell you a little bit about Class Creatives. They offer a top-ranked game design curriculum online. All courses are taught by industry veterans with experience from studios such as Disney, Naughty Dog, Insomniac, Google, and more. Learn the entire process of animation and motion capture using Autodesk Maya and Blender's Grease Pencil by following the methods used to create blockbuster Marvel superhero-style animation. The full animation workflow is explained in detail in their Masterclass courses. Learn professional workflows such as 3D character modeling utilizing industry-standard software such as ZBrush, Autodesk Maya, and Substance Painter. The entire character design workflow is covered from start to finish in their Masterclass offerings. Extensive character rigging courses teach the process of how to custom rig characters for all of your project needs. Land that new job, receive higher pay, and stand out from the competition. The great thing about Class Creatives is the ability to learn at your own pace and your own schedule. Get started today for free with the link in the description.
That's right. That feels good.
There are a lot of levels of details necessary to bring the stunts, CG, and background plates together to bring a seamless experience to the viewers. These billion-dollar hits would not be complete without some of the most iconic styles of shots seen in countless movies throughout cinematic history, such as slow-mo shots of heroes jumping to safety and the slow-mo hero walking sequences. We can see Channing Tatum as Gambit and how the final version of the shot compares to his acting performance. Initial test footage between the two superheroes proved that the chemistry between the two could work on the big screen. Practical effects made the fight sequence great, and the 3D effects helped take the shot over the top and bring additional stylization. As with all the Marvel and superhero franchises, the number one goal is to adapt the film to be as close to the comic books as possible, matching the tone and style to the big screen. For the initial creation of Deadpool, the visual effects team had roughly 10 weeks to conceptualize the costume, create models out of clay in 3D for the molds of the suit before final fabrication of the suit could be completed. Details such as finding the right shade of red was important, since the way the red is viewed in person can differ greatly from how the red appears in camera. A digital scan of Ryan's face was completed prior to creating the shape of the mask. Initially, the first pass of the mask is sculpted in clay and then digitized, where additional tweaks and changes can take place more rapidly. From there, the mask is 3D printed, where the rest of the fabrics and costume makers work their magic to finalize the rest of the suit. A release mechanism was added to the head of the costume to release the eye sockets of the mask so that they can be changed out with different types of eyes for specific stunts. This way they can be changed quickly on the fly on set. Originally, the creators of the mask thought eyebrows would be visible through the mask to help Deadpool emote. However, as the production was finalized on the mask, they realized that with the hard shell that was necessary to stay true to the shape of the face, there was no way expressions could be visible with eyebrow movements. Weta stepped in and created over 250 expressions based on Ryan Reynolds' facial captures that conveyed the iconic identity of his character. A blend-shaped facial rig was created to fully control the expressions. The initial pitch for Deadpool was a long previous sequence to prove that the movie would be a success, and that the practical and CG elements would work as a cohesive experience to the viewer. A mix of motion capture and practical stunts were combined for the shot action sequence pitch. For complex action sequences, 3D previs plays a critical role in planning the practical stunts. Mixing long Steadicam moves, handheld shots, and custom vehicle-based camera rig shots require lots of communication between all of the team members to create a cohesive, polished action sequence. Mixing 3D shots with live action sequences also requires precise planning to create seamless integration to the action sequences that enhance the action. Key players often are scanned in to create 3D digital body doubles for these types of shots to be possible. Motion capture is used to create the motion of the CG model and is then composited to the live action plates for seamless integration. Blending the techniques from different departments helps create a final shot that is difficult to tell where the digital double and the practical shots occur. A total of 14 visual effects studios worked on this version of the Hulk character to bring him to the screen. With advancements in technology, the mocap solving process has become more realistic with machine learning tools developed by a Framestore. The data still needs to be cleaned up by talented animators to add polish to the face, and over 60 shots required additional keyframe animations to finalize the shots. These state-of-the-art workflows from the best studios in the world are pushing the limits on what is possible with CG-enhanced faces. A 3D model of Smart Hulk was created blending the features of Mark Ruffalo and Bruce Banner. ILM, who had worked on previous Hulk iterations, were responsible for creating Smart Hulk. New motion capture techniques were developed to capture Ruffalo's performance as Smart Hulk to capture his movements as closely to the actor as possible. Weta and Digital Domain created new proprietary software to add more detail into the face. A new subset of face shapes were created to give animators even more control in the complex and subtle animation expression performances. For the development of Thanos, early testing was done to ensure the character's believability, including motion capture of Josh Brolin's facial performance. A new approach called the actor puppet was used to capture the nuances of Josh Brolin's performance that included building 2 full digital facial puppets for one character. This involved carefully calibrating both digital puppets of the actor and character to allow for a seamless migration of the actor's performance for the character. Forensic facial tissue density data was used to calibrate the relationship between Josh Brolin and Thanos' facial features. A new tool called Deep Shapes were used to add further complexity to Thanos' facial performance by adding muscle depth to how each expression migrates to the next. Typically, facial rigs stop at the neck, but for Thanos, the facial rig continued down through the neck to give animators full control over the neck animation details. Motion capture was used to capture Brolin's body motion. Additional controls on the rig were provided to animators to override the procedural muscle system and allow for more precise control over Thanos' muscle movements. Complex reflective characters such as Colossus required complex reflection passes from the environment to keep the realism. Shooting reflective silver balls and gray balls are necessary to add the visual effects to understand where the light sources are coming from in the shots with the character. Still shots with HDRI are shot to have all of the reflective information necessary for the digital effects team to apply the correct lighting to the chrome body. This allows the character to move and act like a human, but has an otherworldly form that feels like it exists in the real world. For Captain America, a combination of practical and digital effects were used to create the aged look of Captain America. A body double was used to capture the physicality of the older Captain America. Digital effects were used to de-age Chris Evans' face and body. Everything except the bridge and a set of stairs was green screened and created in 3D. A prosthetic suit was used to create Thor's bulkier appearance. Legacy effects created the prosthetic suit. Digital effects were used to enhance the suit and fill in any gaps to create a seamless visual experience. Sean Gunn served as a body double for Rocket on set. Digital effects were used to create Rocket's face and fur. Digital Negative built a complete 3D skeleton and muscle system based on early versions of the character. A new workflow was developed to take in the various fur effects from several different studios. Extra precautions were taken when it came to his facial expressions to prevent him from looking too cartoony or creating fur that didn't look realistic based on the lighting in the environment. The time suits were entirely CGI created. The suits were a combination of Ant-Man, Iron Man, and Guardians of the Galaxy technology. Since the development of the suits was late in production, the costume department did not have time to fit and fabricate them, so instead they were digitally created. Captain Marvel's suit was also entirely CGI created. The suit's final design was finalized during post-production. The visual effects of Cassandra Nova's superpowers putting her hands through people's faces took the combined talents of the stunt department, camera department, visual effects team, and props department to create the effects. Different skin thicknesses were tested during development, with a thinner option ultimately chosen to reveal more details of Cassandra's knuckles and the skull beneath the skin. The final battle was a combination of practical and digital effects. The sets were partially built on location and then extended with CG. The background environment, including buildings and crowds, were entirely CG generated by Weta. Shots were compiled in multiple passes and were rendered through their respective portals with the same camera movement in order to key together the final composited shot with the live action actors from green screen. The blip effect was created through months of development and testing. The effect was designed to be quiet and elegant with a focus on the emotional impact of the characters disappearing. It's extremely important to combine practical and state-of-the-art digital effects for the visuals to be believable and engaging to the audience. Environments were practically shot and extras were added to block out the shot. Well, that about wraps up this video on how Marvel superhero franchises utilize state-of-the-art visual effects tools to generate over $1 billion at the box office time and time again, and how state-of-the-art software workflows and practical effects are an important integral piece to the feature film creation process. All departments work together to bring something new to each installment of these franchises. We are sure that there will be tons of new techniques and workflows in the future that will assist in breaking new box office records, achieving that billion-dollar status. Are you excited about what's next to come in the Marvel Universe? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.
Perfect.